Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
Let's evaluate and lecture. What is the expected result? That whenever they reach the great activity from here, only one contact will proceed to the next activity because 3 contacts are already in the status of completed. These 3 contacts basically will exit from the journal whenever they reach the great activity and only one contact will be able to move forward. Let's face the journey and see. Oh, sorry, like it is complete. I should have my distance here. Here, we have this correct completed. They actually be the actual status completed. That is showing. Let's refresh this and see. Let's have this great activity. Let's have it for 1 minute. Click on Done. Click on Next button. And then let's define the criteria. I'm going to show you the first two lists. And click on Next button and then Done. We'll see the changes. Journey is activated now, and let's see. Once the contact will enter into the journey and then they will proceed the activity, then we will set a goal percentage as well as we will experience the exit. Based on the exit criteria, a few of the contacts will only be able to make it to the next activity and the other contacts will exit from the website. Now as we can see the percentage of the 7-day of the person. Whenever they will process great activity, then we will basically evaluate the 4 criteria, and based on the goal criteria, we will define the percentage. And only 1 contact basically was able to make it to the next activity and 3 contacts exited from the journey. We can see that we have this option called Health. When we click on this, we have a couple of things over here that we can see. First thing that we are able to see is the Find Contact path. If you want to know that these are all contacts entered into journey and I want to see that, what is the path that was taken by this contact? I'll come over here. I'll search this contact with the alcohol contact key. And I'll have to select the contact over here. And then it will show me that it came from the step extension. And then now it is at that contact exited at this step. Or for example, if I want to see the path that was taken by this contact P4005, you can paste it right here. Select the appropriate contact and then it will show that it went to this activity, and then contact is at this step. Find contact path. Here is helpful when we want to track or we want to check the entire path that was taken by the contact. And it also shows the different series or different activities that it went to. A great activity, then demonstrate. First it went to the 1-minute activity and it is completed, and then demonstrate, and now it is giving it this 1-day great activity. Let's cancel this for now. Next section that we have is toll. Toll. We can say that what is the toll that we have defined? We want 100% of the population to achieve this toll. And what is the percentage of toll that we have achieved far? And it shows the journey count. Total, how many contacts had to be had in the journey? Out of 4. How many contacts are still in the journey? And how many contacts have exited from the journey? It will show that because of the exit criteria, how many contacts have exited 3 and what is the current population. Next session we have, that is alerts. Alerts basically gives us the alert, right? Why it gives you alert, or like what kind of alert it gives you, or like what it shows in the alert. It gives me the number of contacts that are about to complete their wait period. Let's say we have this 10 contacts in my journey and 5 contacts out of 10 are waiting at some wait activity. And the wait activity is going to move over in the next 60 minutes, right? It will show that all those contacts whose wait is going to be over at least 60 minutes. Then what will happen? It will show all those contacts. Right now, this contact still is waiting for the next 24 hours. That is why it is showing 0. But when this contact will be at a stage where only 60 minutes are left or less than 60 minutes are left to complete the wait period, then it will show all those contacts over here in the alert session. We talked about the role. Where do we leave the role? We need to measure the performance of the journey. That is why we need the uploads. Then we talked about the exit criteria. Exit criteria, we can make the contact exit from the journey whenever the permission leaves. And then we talked about the journey health. Basically, it shows us different options to track the path as well as it shows the different statistics like the number of contacts in the journey, how many have exited, and the goal percentage are added. Next, we have a journey history. Journey history basically talks about this entire journey. We can see all these contacts are entering the journey. And these are the different activities that these contacts went through and with timestamp. Either we can come to this from a journey, or if you directly come to the history, then we will not have this filter. And what we can do, that it will show the history of all the journeys that are available on the account. Either we can filter to the help of the journey. If you want some track history of the journey or moves that we can provide status or a date range. Whatever it is, but a history basically shows the path of the activities that contact went through and when it went through and the status and everything. Let me go back. You mean this contact and the other? Yes, come. Previously it was shows around exit criteria is thank you. The journey is completed, right? What is completed and what is exit criteria? Let me go back there. What is completed and what is exit criteria? Exit criteria means if we have exit criteria defined, then at the great activity it will show that this was the activity, basically exit criteria. On the UI we are not able to see, but in the backend, Marketing Cloud has created this activity. Evaluated based on, if we have different exit criteria. It's for any journey builder. It's our wish to create that exit criteria, right? It's not a compulsory degree. No, it is completely optional. Thank you. Thank you. If you have no, please start only in this journey. We have defined this as a criteria. Otherwise, we have not defined any area for any of the journey. It's based on our optional only if you want that. What is the advantage of having that and the disadvantage of not having that? Let's say we are designing one journey in which we are, expecting something from the customer, right? Maybe there's some action pending from this and making a payment or maybe completing a training, right? In an organization, we see that, the employees, we want them to complete the training before the 2 days. Whenever they complete the training, Now we don't want to send any folder payment to them, right? Because if they still will if they stay within the journey, we are not going to send them any communication because they have done what we were expecting from them. If there is an option and they have completed this, then we can have this idea that they can accept. If you want to measure the journey, we need to have that exit criteria right. If you want to measure the performance of the journey, then we need to have a goal. Using it, we can see the percentage. We talked about the status, we talked about journey analytics, and then history, and then health goal, and then exit criteria. Now let's talk about the journey settings. If you want to copy the entire journey, we can click on this copy journey, and we have another option, which is journey settings. Journey settings. Let me get a new version that I can show you. Since these are the new journey settings, we are not able to make the changes in the journey settings. We have 3 different contact reentry mode that we can configure for any of the journey. First one is a new reentry. What does it mean? That whenever a contact enters, we are going to identify the contact with the help of the contact. Let's say we have a contact with C121, right? And the same contact is trying to enter again in the journey. Let's say our entry source is data extension. Now this is possible that the same contact or the same record we have twice in our data extension. And we want this contact to enter the journey. If you talk about, let's say, e-commerce website, and if the customer places an order, we want to send them the order confirmation. And it is possible that the same customer, can place order multiple times. What will happen? That in the same data extension, we will have, many reports will have multiple records for the same contact. Because whenever this customer places an order, we will have this record in the data extension. If you will choose no reentry, which means that the same customer will not be able to enter journey again, and we will not be able to send the e-commerce communication again. We will not choose that. What are the scenarios where you choose no reentry? Let's say if you're distributing some coupon or something, and what a customer needs to do that, the customer needs to maybe, visit some website, and then from there he needs to raise a request that I want this coupon or something like that. And if the customer is eligible, we will send them the, coupon code. That is only, once per user. We are not distributing many coupons to the same customer. What will happen? They will enter into a data extension. And even if they have claimed they have requested again, the record will be created in the data extension, but they will not be able to enter into the journey again. As we have defined no re-enter, it means the same contact cannot re-enter again the journey. Right? Reentry anytime, like the example that we discussed for the e-commerce website. If the customer places an order multiple times, then what we want to do is that we want the contact for the answer anytime, again and again. The customer can receive the respective emails for the different orders that he has placed. The other option that we have is reentry only after exiting. Let's say we have a scenario where a customer can enter into the journey multiple times, but only after exiting. The contact has entered, and after the entire journey is completed, then only the contact should enter. Let's say if you talk about a scenario where let's say Readbuscom, if you are taking a ticket on our name and we are saying that we are traveling from this place to this place, I cannot be in any other journey that I can. I can travel from one place to another at even point of time. I mean, at a single time, I can only be traveling to a single destination, right? Even like only after exiting or only after I complete this journey, then I'll be able to enter the same journey again. But I cannot have two contacts, or I cannot get in another multiple contacts in the same journey. This is how we can configure the entry and modification requirement. Next, we have this default email address. Whenever we send the email communication from the email studio, what is the mechanism that is followed by Marketing Cloud? The default mechanism is that whenever we're sending the email using a data extension, Marketing Cloud will go to the old subscriber list, and from there it will check what is the email address that is configured in old subscriber list. And the customer will receive the email message on the email address which is configured in all 6 of the addresses, right? That is the default mechanism. But in Journey Build, what happens is that we have flexibility that we can choose the email address attribute from the entry source. We have this data extension configured as an entry source. We can pick any of the fields from there that we want to use to send the email communication. Let's say we have multiple fields in which we have email address value. We can take any one field from here that will be used to pick the email address value in order to send the email communication to the customers. If we have two options, either we can select the email attribute or email address value from the entry source, or the another option that we have is using email address from the contacts. Here we have population. If you remember, we talked about the population, right? Can anybody tell me what is the use of population? We discussed in detail that the use of population to measure the data rate 100%. That is the goal. I'm talking about the population in Contact Builder. We discussed basically the population is used to resolve the ambiguity. Let's say if we have the data from multiple sources coming into our Marketing Cloud and the email address value might differ. Let's say if you are having the data from Facebook or from our local system or maybe from my external server. For the same contact, I can have multiple email addresses that Facebook says that the email address is 123@gmail.com for the same contact, maybe our historical data or maybe our conventional database. It says that the email address is abc@gmail.com. We have to keep on record or we have to take one email address value from all that we can send the email notification. What Marketing Cloud says is that once you have dated the population means that we are linking one of the data extension with the contact model. And the email address value that we have in the data extension now is associated with the contact. And we are making the contact enter into the journey. When the contact will enter into the journey, it will have, let's say a contact is C1001. It will go to that population and it will pick up the email address value from that data extension that is associated with that population. I mean, this could be a bit complicated to understand, but try to understand this, that we have this population in which we have the state extension. What we are trying to do is that we are trying to pick up the email address value from the population instead of the entrances. We can have this email address value from the population as well. We have two options over here that if we have the email address value stored in the Journey data extension, then we can go ahead with this option. Otherwise, if we have this email address value stored somewhere else in any other data extension, then we can choose this one. Same goes with the mobile number, that if you have the mobile number stored in the entry source data extension, then you can choose this one. Otherwise, we can choose from it. And then Google Analytics tracking. Basically, if you have this Google Analytics integrated with Marketing Cloud, then what we can do, whatever links that we have in the email message, they are basically tracking data is shared with the Google Analytics systems. And it shows that the journey data, we have this journey data which is nothing but our attributes in our configured data extension. And then we have this contact data, which is nothing but our attribute groups and population. Anybody has any doubts far? Go through this ragged. Sorry for that. Sorry, what did I say? No, I missed that population. I got confused over there. No problem. I mean, there's many things to remember. There's many things to understand. Just keep practicing that you remembered. And next we have templates. I think we talked about the templates. We have Salesforce and my templates. Either we can pick up a Salesforce template to create, let's say, anniversary send. What it does is that it gives us a kind of basis structure. On top of it, we can make the changes. Here we have this event and then anniversary. Now, if you want to make some modifications, let's say I want to change the entry source. I want to change the message activity. I want to send the SMS instead. It will give us a basis structure and we can make the changes on top of it as per our requirement. And also we can create our own templates. How do we create a template? Whenever we save the journey, we have this option to save the journey as a template that we can reuse this in our annual journey. Here we get this option to save the journey as a template. Save as template. Whenever we save this template, we can just basically define the name and we can create a template that it is available for us to if we need this as a basis structure and we can make modifications on top of it. I think we have pretty much discussed about everything in the journey, all the options that we have in the toolbar and the entry source and activities. But still, if you have any doubt, feel free to ask or raise any questions. In the next session, we'll talk about the AMMP script. We are going to discuss two programming languages. One is AMMP script and the SSCS. From the next session, we'll be taking up the AMMP script. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.